The other day, I was speaking to a couple of my buddies. I tell them that I am a Hims shareholder and that I absolutely love the products. Personally, I use Hims for my hair. It definitely helped me out a lot, and I've been using it for years. I am also a relatively heavy investor in Hims, and I have multiple 5 figures invested into Hims. It's actually one of the few positions that not only am I not down on, but actually over triple digit returns, which means I'm over 100% up on my actual money. Hims is an absolute monster, and I just wanted to explain to you a conversation that I was having with one of my boys. So I said, hey, Hims is super interactive and super easy to use, and that's why I believe Hims has a massive moat around it. And we started going over the entire processes of actual telehealth. So I don't think people understand how absolutely smooth and easy it is to use Hims. I don't know if people think Hims is like a teledoc for telehealth, but Hims uses telehealth in order to sell their products. It's not a telehealth company. It's kind of a hybrid and somewhere in between. In order to use Hims, it's quite simple. You go on their website, you click a few buttons, they ask you a very small questionnaire. You then get a message from a doctor, and then you are approved if all of your questions, coincide. That's it. That's the entire telehealth process. Now, Hims does not sell any controlled substances. The DEA just came out with a proposal that says, hey, if you're doing telehealth, the first doctor's visit that you do for telehealth, if it's a controlled substance like ADHD medicine or painkillers, something like that, like heavy drugs, you must go see an actual doctor first. And everybody thought that Hims falls under this category. But Andrew Dunham, our CEO, came out and said, hey, Hims does not fall under this category, and this is exactly why we stay away from controlled substances in our telehealth. He literally said that in an earnings call several times. We stay away from controlled substances because the regulations for telehealth for controlled substances is not clear. And he actually had the preemptive vision of stay the fuck away from that. Now, since we stay the fuck away from controlled substances, we are relatively safe from the DEA. We are coasting under the radar. And our business does not revolve around telehealth. Our business revolves around an extremely smooth process that makes something unsexy and uncool very sexy and very cool. It turns the taboo into something that's mainstream. Very, very easy. Because Hims does that. Hims does not have to rely on telehealth. Hims has to essentially market and public relation their products. So Hims falls under 4 different categories: mental health, sexual health, dermatology, and skincare. These are 4 of the huge opportunities that Hims has, but it's only 4 categories. Hims has the entire world at its beck and call and can keep introducing many other products. Let me explain to you how it works. In 2021, Hims had approximately 600,000 users. In 2022, Hims has 1.1 million users or subscribers. Hims has a massive 90+%, and I don't mean like 90, it's more like 95% stickiness rate. What exactly is a stickiness rate? That means if you use Hims once, you have a 90+% chance, as per the statistics and data of Hims, of actually subscribing to use Hims. Now, if you're a subscriber to Hims, you get something in the mail every month, every 3 months, annually, semi-annually, whatever, but you get something in the mail. Usually it's once a month. For my hair products, I get something in the mail every single month, unless I buy a 3-month supply, so then I get every 3 months, so on and so forth, built to suit for your personal needs. The secret sauce of Hims is to make everything as smooth and easy as possible and massive margins on users and subscription-based users. All Hims has to do is market the fuck out of their product to get you to use Hims once, and chances are 9 out of 10 people will end up subscribing to Hims. Do you see the genius here? Currently, Hims has around a 70 to 80% gross margin. Hims says that in the long run, they will have a very nice 20 to 30% margin. If you think 20 to 30% sounds bad compared to 70 to 80%, 20 to 30% margins is absolutely massive for a business in the long term. HIMS grew nearly 100% year-over-year growth, and it is proposing that it will grow over 50%, not just for the next year, but the next 2 years, compound annual growth rate. This is also massive amounts of growth. Eventually, the growth of HIMS obviously is going to slow down as any growth company eventually slows down. But that slowdown should not be happening for a few years to come, which means there is a massive opportunity to actually pick up shares of HIMS. The current price of a share of HIM is around $9.50, right under $10. HIMS IPO'd at $10, so you're actually getting a very good deal with HIMS. When HIMS actually IPO'd, it was a very questionable company. Can HIMS provide the service that they say? Can HIMS grow as they say they could? HIMS not only grows as they say they could, HIMS consistently, not once, many times, raises the bar, exceeds the bar, and re-raises the bars, so on and so forth. HIMS is one of, if not the only company that I know of, if you have another company, let me know, that's not like an inverse ETF or something, like an actual stock, that hit a 52-week high during a bear market. Pretty freaking insane if you think about it. HIMS did give up all the gains that it made in the last earnings. However, coming into earnings, they were already at a 52-week high. I do believe that this is just a blip, and HIMS will end up retaking all of the gains that they lost, if you want to call it a loss. But I'm still ridiculously up, and many people that are part of my community are ridiculously up on HIMS. Of course, nothing I say is financial advice. This is purely entertainment and education. But let me go over a quick tree of how HIMS works. I even drew it on a piece of paper so I make sure that I don't mess it up. I'm going to try to do my best to call this out. So HIMS has over 1.1 million subscribers. They use those subscribers to get feedback. Those 1.1 million subscribers give feedback. HIMS then takes the feedback and they integrate the actual data that they have. They take the information from all of the users and they actually use it. Most companies don't do that. They actually take your data and try to build you the best possible performance and platform that they possibly can. Again, that's your magic sauce. They then take the data, they integrate it, and they give you a more personalized solution. Therefore, this gives you better customer service and a happier customer. A happier customer is a longer user. A longer user then gives you more opportunity to cross-sell. And more opportunities to cross-sell with an over 90% stickiness rate is the absolute magic sauce of HIMS. And therefore, I absolutely freaking love HIMS. Not to mention, HIMS was just recently mentioned as one of the best possible places to work in 2023. On top of that, HIMS just hired a board of advisors that are going to help them grow in the medical field. HIMS is doing everything right, in my personal opinion, to be a massive, massive company in the future. With a market cap currently of around $2 billion off the top of my head, I didn't check the charts, I think HIMS has a massive amount to grow. At the very least, HIMS should absolutely shellac and take out Teladoc's market cap. Although they are two completely different companies, I believe that HIMS is a far superior company over Teladoc. In a moment, I am going to play you around a 4-minute video. This is an interview with the CFO of HIMS, Yemi Okumi. You should definitely listen to it. This guy is really, really smart. He had an interview with Yahoo Finance after the last earnings. This interview is around 4 weeks old, plus or minus. But most people don't listen to these interviews. Most people don't know that these interviews exist. And to be honest and quite fair, most people have no idea what HIMS is, what HIMS does, and that HIMS even exists. HIMS is an absolute monster that is absolutely flying under the radar. Eventually, it's going to have a massive Teladoc moment, except I don't think it's going to crash and burn like Teladoc because I think that the hype that's not around HIMS is actually well-deserved, but it's not there. Eventually, once that hype is going to come to HIMS, I think HIMS is really going to take off. And I think that HIMS gives you a massive opportunity for an extreme return on your investment, or ROI. Of course, everything I say is just my own personal opinion. I'm just a guy on YouTube. Nothing I say is advice. And remember, most of all, keep it clean in between because hygiene is very important. Enjoy the rest of this video.
Chief Financial Officer, Yemi Okupe. Yemi, great to have you here with us. And follow up on the conversation that we were having just a few months back about what you're seeing in the business, and particularly here in this most recent quarter, perhaps where you're still seeing some of that strength among the consumers that you engage with.
Absolutely. It's really great to be here, Brad. I think 2022 is definitely a very exciting year for us. We crossed 1 million subscribers, delivered over $525 million of revenue, and achieved our first quarter of adjusted EBITDA profitability. And really, that's the culmination of each of the strategic pillars that we speak about coming together. The trusted brand, our leading technology, providing the ability to deliver personalized products and a high degree of clinical outcomes for our patients and customers. And as a result of that, we really are seeing continued strong momentum with more users coming onto the platform and doing more with us.
And that's something that your CEO, Andrew Dudum, talked about on the call, reaching this sort of inflection point, right, in your growth. So tease out a little bit more, describe to us a little bit more about how the scale that you've reached is going to help grow, as you just alluded to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it provides a few things. Number one, as more and more consumers come to the platform, they give us a ton of feedback around the things that they want, the types of solutions that are working. As a result of that, we're able to leverage our technology to incorporate that feedback, provide them with the personalized services and cares that they really look for, which in turn results in those customers staying on the platform for longer, as well as adhering to the treatments, which drives better outcomes. And so really, as we continue to get more and more customers onto the platform, we're able to drive more and more personalized solutions, have greater flexibility with the offerings that we're able to offer customers. And so that's what's generating a very powerful flywheel that's resulting in more and more customers coming onto the platform.
As you think about the product roadmap and the solutions that you currently have in market and those that are still set to come, where do you believe the biggest opportunity for the business is?
I think that's really what excites us. I think while 2022 was an outstanding year, we're even more excited by the future. And that's really a result of the fact that we are really just scratching the surface on many of the conditions that we're in today, as well as many of the conditions that we can be in the future. And so, what you can expect for us in 2023 is to continue to roll out more and more personalized solutions. We just recently rolled out the hard mints product for men's sexual health. That's seen, very, very rapid adoption. And so increasingly, we're going to take the feedback that we're receiving for our customers to deliver the products that they inherently are looking for and want, whether that's in the form of creative formulations or creative form factors. We really have such a large runway ahead of us where when you look at the conditions that we serve today, mental health, sexual health, dermatology, and skin, there's just such a vast opportunity that we truly believe that we are really just scratching the surface of the opportunity.
There is a lot of competition and sort of growing competition in this space. So what kind of moat do you all feel that you have when it comes to these products, particularly when you're, expanding into more dermatological products where there might be some competition that's heating up?
Yeah, I think it's a really great question. I think that healthcare remains one of the largest verticals across the country. And so I think that we would be naive to believe that we'd be the only players. But we believe that strong execution across each of our strategic pillars will enable us to be a leader in the space. And so when you look at the things that we've built over the last several years, building a trusted brand that removes barriers and enables consumers to have a friendly approach to the health and wellness challenges that they face, leveraging our technology to provide customized and personalized solutions for users, and driving a high degree of clinical excellence, we're confident that the flywheel that we've created will continue to pay dividends for the foreseeable future. And so that's one of the reasons why we were able to lean in and provide additional clarity around what we expect the long-term profile of the business to look like, delivering over $1.2 billion per annum of revenue by 2025, $100 million of EBITDA, on a path towards attractive margins of 20 to 30% in the long term.
So do you believe that pricing is kind of stable for the costs that you have to pass through to consumers right now? Or do you believe that there's going to be some moderation in the pricing strategy in the future?
We've actually seen increasing efficiency on the platform. We've been able to pass some of that through to consumers. But what's actually happened over the last several quarters is we've seen gross margins expand as the operation has gotten more and more efficient. We're confident in the value that we provide to consumers across all of those pillars, that they are going to continue to trust the platform, and continue to want to interact and engage with us. And so we don't foresee any pricing pressure in the near future.